Hello, I'm Robert O'Donoghue from the Environmental Learning Research Centre at Rhodes University, and I've been working with Thami and with Dai to explore how have the Tsonga fishing methods been a sustainable way of life for centuries. And in our handprint work, what we're trying to do is to develop the Tsonga fish trapping practices as a tuning in to the concerns in terms of sustainable sea harvesting of fish. So if we look at the story that Thami introduced us to, he describes how 3 generations of his family had fished the Kosi Bay estuary using indigenous fish traps. Scientists report that pressures on estuarine mangroves are declining and fish stocks are driving increasing pressures on mangroves, fish and coastal forest resources. Traditional fishing practices and agroecological food production have proved sustainable in the area of the Kosi Bay for many hundreds of years, but these are now under increasing threat owing to population increasing and the pressures of this and the demands on natural resources that result. So sustainable fish practices can become a useful focus in a learning sequence, starting with Thami's story, finding out more with internet searches on the Tsonga and Kosi Bay, working out solutions in terms of the design features of the fishing practices that make them sustainable for hundreds of years, and also exploring what challenges face the Tsonga today and how could they best go about trying to resolve these. In this work, what we're trying to do is to explore how we can touch the past in our memories and share these and feel the future flying on the wings of our imaginations towards more sustainable futures. So if we look at a startup story, as a young boy, Thami learned to use wild banana fiber for binding the reeds and poles to make a fish trap. This sustainable way of fishing went back many, many generations in his family. He also learned to build an impenetrable wall of mangrove tree branches to guide the fish into the indigenous traps, where once the fish swam under the entrance and up into the trap, they could swim around and around in the trap, waiting to be caught. For him, the excitement after a hard day's work, weeks often, of building the traps and repairing these, had to go out with his father and learn to spear the fish swimming round and round in the trap. His father loved to tell tourists that the Tsonga food storage was not cold like a modern fridge, but it was much better for keeping fish fresh for supper. Today, tourists look over the Kosi Bay estuary from the high dunes, and they can see that the Tsonga community fish traps are a picture of social ecological ingenuity that has been sustained for over 700 years. The sustainability of the estuary is now at risk as natural resources are being depleted with an increasing population living in the area. So this gives us many interesting insights into ecological and social practices for sustainability and can be an incredible starting point for ESD and thinking about the fish we eat, where it comes from and how sustainable it is.